Alrighty, everybody, we are back, and as you can see, we got a little bit of an issue here. Yeah, we finally finished up the Borderlands rifle and the Borderlands mask. We've got all of that done. We finished the painting, and it has been kind of a project. I'm glad to have it off the list, but I learned a lot with that. For those of you who don't know, I'm Steve, the retired hobby tech guy, American expat living in Korea, living my best life now, doing 3D printing, miniature painting, cosplay stuff, getting into that. So, doing all the things on the bucket list. And so we're kind of enjoying our time here in Korea. With that said, again, this is a completion of the Borderlands Ripper Mask and the Borderlands Rifle, which has been kind of interesting. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to want to know where can you get these files. A little bit of detail on that. I did print this out on the Creality K2 Plus, which is a great machine. I haven't had any problems with it. And Terry pops up. Terry pops up and says, hey, good morning, good evening. I guess it's morning here in Korea, but evening where you're at, so it's good to see you. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll just jump right in and show you where I got these files. So here it is, the files right here. I got them off of Printables, and if you go to Borderlands, and matter of fact, what we'll end up doing is we will copy and paste this into the comments section. Borderlands free files. And so that way everybody can download these and do whatever they want. That's the cool thing about 3D printing, is that you can find a number of things that are free, that are pretty awesome, incredible, and you can do some cool stuff. What we end up seeing here is the Ripper mask, and they've got, we printed that out. That was kind of cool. And then they also have the rifle that we printed out. That came out really well. And then if we go down to actually the makes here, there is yours truly. And I ended up showing the full paint job and everything in the cell type paint comic book look thing. So what I thought interesting is that nobody had painted their rifle yet. And so, yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I just thought that was kind of odd, especially with Borderlands being such a huge thing. I thought more and more people, there would be more people that would print this out than, a few people did. And then nobody painted it. I'm the first one to paint it. So that's kind of cool. They did have another rifle, which was this one right here. That is kind of huge. I mean, that is a big piece there. And I thought about doing that, but then when I looked at the construction of it, you can see kind of the details on this, and there's definitely some weak points on here. So when I was looking at this and I was considering on printing this out, I still might do it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I've got another rifle that I want to print out, not Borderlands, but where the connection points are, that definitely kind of looks like there are some weak points here, so it would have to be probably 4 walls, and you'd probably have to up your infill to, 15%, I would say. That would probably be the best thing. A lot of intricate details, but it's still a pretty cool looking rifle, but man, just kind of the weak points right along, these areas here. So I wish it was a little bit more. The front, that's going to be a little front end heavy, and then the back is okay, but it just seems, I wish there was a little bit more meat within that area there. So, but other than that, you can find some other cool stuff for Borderlands, and of course anything else that you can find on the interwebs through a variety of different sources. Printables is one of those, Maker's World. Creality Cloud is another one. That's for the Creality one. You have Fangs, THANGS. You have STL Finder. Put that into your Google search, and you can, it's kind of like a search for STL files. So it'll pop up and show you different files from a ton of different places. So that's kind of a useful tool right there. And then you also have stuff where you could join Patreon groups. I belong to Galactic Armory, and we ended up doing a Psycho Mask from them, and I guess we could take a look at that as well. Do I have that here? Yeah, I've got that up there. We'll take a look at that when we go to the table and show you the final results of the rifle and the Borderlands mask from Borderlands. They, I guess, commissioned an artist to do this for free, and as you can see, that turned out pretty good. I'm really digging the cell paint job. Looks real cartoonish, especially in this picture here. So yeah, it just turned out to be a really cool project. And it's the first time I ever did cell painting, first time I ever did painting a mask, and so painted miniatures. Learned how to paint miniatures when I retired over here in Korea, so it's been just over 3 years. About 6 months in, I started my painting journey, and I didn't know how to paint anything. So, 50s, my late 50s, and I'm just like, I don't know how to paint, watch a ton of videos, ended up learning how to paint miniatures, and then just kind of, that's how the journey started. So, yeah, and then now we're getting into larger cosplay items. So with that, what we're going to do is we'll take a close-up look of the things that we ended up doing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to, boom, that view. And we're going to carry Mr. Microphone over here because I'm not so rich and technologically advanced that I have multiple microphones and everything. And then what we'll end up doing is we'll just go ahead and we'll start up our tablet, and so we can take a look at here it is. So we can look at the live view, and if we got any comments, we could come into it. The first thing we ended up doing is a Ripper mask that we end up seeing here, and that turned out great. I mean, this was really nice. I want to say this was like 15 hours. I printed it at 0.16 millimeter layer height. You still get some of the lines. I didn't sand this. I just wanted to print it out, and yeah, there we go. We added some 3D printed hooks or latches on here for the straps. Needed a little bit of foam on here to pad the face. But that came out really, really nice. And we've got, a bunch of the details on there as far as like, rust. And again, we varnished this with a high gloss finish, Montana varnish. Used some sand color on here. And then we did black. And then what we ended up doing on top of that was kind of like a dry brush. So we experimented with that. We used cobalt blue for this, and then we, had black and silver and some of the rust colors on there. We also did washes on here for some of the shadowed areas to try to give more depth, and I think we did a pretty good job on that. So yeah, it turned out really good. When we did the rifle, this turned out, let's see if we can bring that down just a little bit. Yeah. When we did the rifle, we had to do this in multiple parts, so that was kind of interesting. We had we had a piece here, or where did we do this? I can't even remember where we did the separation on this. That's kind of nice. if you can't see the lines of where you cut the model, yeah, then I think that works pretty good. But as you can see, what we ended up with is doing the cell shading. We did sand, we did black with spray can, and then what we ended up using is the Art Deco paints, which came out really good. We used some Art Deco paints, of course not the green, but those have been some great paints, and these Art Deco are definitely less expensive than the Games Workshop. So these come out to about 60 or 70 cents per ounce, whereas the Games Workshop paints, you're paying about $6, $7 per ounce of this stuff. So yeah, you definitely want to look for alternative means when painting larger items. So we did the sand, which was spray paint. We did the black, which was spray paint. And then after that, we just went through with the Art Deco paints, and we did like the pearl black. We did the silver on here, and the rest of it, we did cobalt blue with a Vallejo premium airbrush because I like the color. And this just came out really, really nice. So as you can see there. And yeah, it just turned out fantastic. And on part of this, I also did some UV, got some UV resin with some baby powder, and I was able to put this on and kind of smooth out some of these areas just to do like a proof of concept test. And there's a really smooth area that I ended up doing there. But yeah, this turned out really, really good. And with the shine on it, and of course we went through with the washes, different, with like a brown colored wash and a dark colored wash. We're able to add some weathering and, some bronze color on there. I think this really brought it together. And then to do all the lines, all we ended up doing is using a Sharpie. So Sharpies have come in handy in how we finish this up, and I am really pleased with the results that we got. I still need to do the magazine, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, there it is. We have that there. We've got this Ripper mask. Now all of this can be found on Printables for free. You can download that for free. And here is another one. This one is from Galactic Armory. So this helmet came out, and I belong to their Patreon group, which is like $15 a month. And this is a print in place. I think this is like, 27 hours or something like that. Can't really remember, but did the same thing with the sand colored. Ended up doing, kind of the same color, so it kind of matches. So whichever one that I end up using, these kind of match. Eventually I'm doing a cosplay thing, and I'm going to continue building on that, so we'll have a good uniform. So if a cosplay event comes up, I'll definitely have something like this. But this turned out really good as well. And we ended up printing out this eye screen here, which is, and you could find this on my Creality print page, but that is a honeycomb infill. We just don't have any top layers or bottom layers. It's just the infill, and we're able to kind of do that. And so you can look through it, and we did that on the eyes. That turned out really well. So with this, we used rust on some pieces there that you can see on the spikes. And again, the clear high gloss varnish on there. And it just came out really, really good. I like this helmet better than the mask. And with this mask, what I ended up doing is getting some window screen, as you can see there. You can kind of see that. That's window screen repair. And then the reflective under that is just a security film. So, you have the silver or the bronze side. This just happen to be silver or bronze, and you're still able to see through no matter what side. But with this mask on this one here, you end up that you can see out, but people can't see in. But with that being said, even with this red that we printed out here, it's hard to see your eyes. So, and I like the contrast that it has with the red versus the blue, and red versus blue. Did you get that reference? If you got the reference, that's awesome. The other thing we ended up doing is my wife wanted to have a mask, and so we printed out another one, and here is the one that she did. She actually painted this. So that came out really good. She did it just a little bit different. first time painting mask, and yeah, I'd say she knocked it out of the park with that one. So we got that there. And then the other thing I ended up painting or printing out was this cosplay pistol. And for the life of me right now, I can't remember where I got this. If you do Borderlands pistol, you'll be able to find it. I think it's on printables, and it was for free. It's got a rotating cylinder there. We did kind of the same thing. I added some extra parts on here. So because the original model just looked a little bare, it didn't have the rails on here. So we kind of did that. I kind of wish I did something different with this here, and I still might go back and kind of paint this with a pearl black like I did on the rifle with this color that we ended up here, kind of do that on there, and then maybe do the handle in black, and then just do that pearl black as we did on that gun. So I think I might go back and do that, redo it. But this turned out pretty good as well. So yeah, I mean, we had all kinds of fun doing all kinds of this stuff here. So with that, I would say we had a successful time printing out all of this stuff, and it is definitely been fun doing all of this. Again, really happy with the Galactic Armory. I think you can find this on their page, the Galactic Armory page. They have a website, and I think they lowered the price of this mask. It's only like $9.99. So they didn't have this. You can find this on the Creality Cloud. I'll post a link once we go back to the desk, and I'll show you. So that way you can print out. I did one in blue. I did one in red. But that might come in handy with your cosplay stuff. So yeah, we had a good time. I'm really happy with the rifle. Again, that turned out really, really good. And as we can see, the cell shading and everything that we ended up doing with all of this stuff just came out awesome. Yeah, really, really happy with how all of this turned out. So with that, I think what we're going to end up doing is let's go ahead and we'll transfer back to the desk. And so we'll move Mr. Microphone over here. And we will close this out. But yeah, all of that stuff turned out really, really nice. So I'll bring this back over here. And we are back. Okay, so yeah, and this fits out. This fits pretty good. Again, that turned out really good. I like it. And then, of course, with the Borderlands rifle that we end up seeing here, that worked out really well, and it turned out pretty good. So, yeah. Definitely, I was definitely pleased with what we accomplished with all of this, and especially the mask, the rifle. I love the cell shading, and again, kind of the cartoony, shiny look on there. It turned out really, really nice. So, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, yeah, more 3D printed stuff going around. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Gonna do some other stuff. Gonna continue on doing the Borderlands Ripper slash character or Psycho character. This is actually the Psycho mask. And again, that's from Galactic Armory. Terry says, it all looks good. Yeah, and I got some other stuff coming in, matter of fact, to continue on the cosplay. And let me see if I got actually ordered. Dun, 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 dun. And I'll show you what I ended up ordering here. So here it is. I ordered these baggy cargo pants, which will go great with, of course, the helmet, and then the rifle will be good, and then probably get like a wife beater t-shirt or something like that, a wife beater tank top, and do all that and be able to it'll really tie it together. And get some boots, some funky looking boots, so that'll be pretty good. Could also go with a blue, but that's not like a cobalt blue. But I like the orange, and excuse me, I think what we can end up doing with the orange is actually do some cell shading on here. Use some magic markers on there with some black and some white, and try to learn how to do that. But I think this will turn out pretty good, even without doing the cell shading. I think that could really help tie in the cosplay for that. So yeah, it was a really good build. I really enjoyed it. And again, if we take a look at some of the details there, you can end up seeing how well that turned out. And yeah, just really happy with that. I'm going to do the other side. Again, you can kind of get that there. And yeah, nice. And the cell shading, I was really happy with. I really like that style. So a little bit of accent pieces, just working on the contrast of the different colors. I liked it with the sand and how that kind of matches the helmet and the mask and stuff like that. The cobalt blue matching the helmet, and of course some of the other colors. It really kind of brought in this whole thing. So yeah, it's great build. Great build. I really enjoyed it. So overall, I would say that is a huge success. It turned out a lot better than what I expected, in all honesty. I was a little nervous about doing helmets. I still have a helmet that for the Doom Eternal Slayer, I've got that big helmet, and I haven't done anything on it. Eventually, I'll get back to that, and I want to print that out as a cosplay. But I'm kind of waiting on Galactic Armory to do their Armor Smith-like form fit cosplay armor adjustment program that they're working on. I have scaled the helmet properly, but when you're talking about the rest of the armor, I'm really hesitant on doing that myself with just the slicer and the XYZ for, like Creality print and stuff like that. I'm a little nervous about that because I don't want to waste any filament, and I would rather, and none of the files are my size. None of them are. They're all for somebody who's like 5'6", 5'7". I'm 6'2", 260 pounds. So yeah, I need to scale things up, but I want to be able to do it the right way. So I'm going to hold off on waiting for the Galactic Armory stuff. Let me see if I can show you where the Terry says you got to take off. You got to run and check the ribs on the smoker. Oh, now you're making me hungry, dude. You got to take some pictures of the meat, and then we'll throw it up on the next stream or something like that. Email them to me or whatever. I would love to see that. So for those of you who are interested, for especially like the eyes on the mask that we ended up having, how you can print that out on your 3D printer. What I want to do is show you where that's at. And so we're going to go back to the desktop view, and here is the Varied Life on Creality Cloud. And so I got some models there, got a rotating paint rack that I made. I have a version 1 and a version 2. And here is the cosplay mask helmet screen. And all of this stuff is for free. And so as we take a look at that, you can print this in whatever color. It's set in honeycomb, 0.2 millimeters, 3 walls, 35% infill, 0 top and bottom shells, and it just turns out pretty good. So if you're looking to do a similar screen type for some cosplay or maybe some other things where you might need a pattern like this, you can print that on your printer. And all the files that I have on here are free, so we got some other stuff there, and seems to be doing well. We're going to be adding more. I'm almost working on another paint rack to have it a little bit better than what I have now. So maybe we'll get into that. Again, so many things to do with 3D printing, and it's just, do you have enough time? And I'll do things in spurts. So I'll get interested in one thing and I'll work on that. And then I'll get into something else and then I'll work on that. So it's, unless a project can be done in a short amount of time, doing a long, protracted project is kind of hard for me. So the fact that I was able to get the helmets done, the mask done, the rifle done is kind of a big win for me. So I'm trying to focus on getting things done. I'm good in the short term, but for long projects, it's going to take a little bit. So I'm working on that. And I think the armor projects will help me do that. George pops up. Howdy. I only have a moment. I'm on the road and I just wanted to say hi while I was taking a quick break. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, enjoy your break and thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Always good to see Terry and George, Ferrithus, a number of other people, Adam Baum, Adam Civic. Then we have Lauren. We have a number of other people that join the streams from time to time that are pretty regular. And we have some really good discussions. Matter of fact, all of us, we have solved some of the world's problems. And it's all due to the incredible people that join in on the stream. It's just, if the rest of the world would just do what we say, a lot of things would be fixed, but they don't. So, there's that. But until then, I just wanted to share the finished Borderlands mask and rifle, which again turned out really good. This is about 38 inches long, and it turned out really good. You can get some of the shine on there. The cell shading just came out great, and I love it. So we're going to continue on and do more stuff. So with that, please take the time right now to like and subscribe to the channel. That would really help me out. And again, there's free files on my Creality Cloud site. There's links to the printables, Borderlands, in the comments section. So if you want to do that, but what I'll end up doing is I'll even put it down here in the comments section. Free Borderlands stuff, files, free Borderlands files here. And then that way you can print these off. These are actually from Borderlands. And for personal use, you're good to go. Have some fun, print it out, paint, do some cool stuff that you've never done before. And just start having fun in life. That's what it's all about. So with that, I'm going to close out this video. So the obligatory outro, if you want to contact me, here's my email address. Not George, but Terry. Terry needs to take some pictures and send them to me, and so we'll put them on the stream because I want to see some of the smoked meat. He keeps talking about this. I need to see it. If you want to send me an email for whatever reason, it doesn't matter, just to say hi, feel free to do so. I answer every single email. A bunch of people over here bought me coffee. You can do that as well. But the very best thing that you could do for me is like the video and subscribe to the channel. If we want to try to continue growing this and going through and, just doing some hobby stuff and having some fun as I'm an American expat retired here in Korea. So if you got questions about that, I can share our experience as well. You can find that also on the YouTube page. I got a smattering of videos, hobby stuff, 3D printing, resin printing, miniature painting, being an American expat in Korea. It's a varied life. That's what it is. So I like and enjoy sharing that. And then you all sharing your lives with me. That's kind of a cool thing too. So with that, Terry, George, everybody else that's watching, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching. I got to get something to eat, and then it's gym day, so I got to do arms. And then with that, we will see you on the next video. All right? Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Peace. Good stuff. Good stuff. Rifle came out great.